Hi, everyone. I'm Summer,
I'm Carrie.
and this is Hopelexia Podcast.
Join us to talk about sex, drugs, and self improvement.
We need you
Hi,
guys to
Leo.
talk.
How are y'all doing?
I've been better. How are you?
Doing okay.
Good.
Currently searching for my phone charger so my phone doesn't die in the middle of conversating. That would be ideal. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Forgive me.
Y'all get any time off this summer?
No. What about, well, you're a teacher, so you get to go do stuff, right?
Right. What is your calendar like at your school? Are you guys on like the 9-month cycle, or are you there year round?
9 months. So we start school the last week of August, and then we get out the first week of June.
Oh.
So
Nice. I don't remember the last time I ever took a vacation. So.
I took one last year, and now I understand. That was my first real vacation, and now I understand why people like vacation, and I need to have another one too.
I need to just have one.
Yes, I'm going to just kidnap Carrie and take her on a road trip or something. I think that's
Yes,
what's
please.
going to have to happen.
Yes,
that'd be
please.
fun. It'd be hot as hell, but it'll be fun.
Yeah. Can we do it in the fall when it's not 1,000,000 degrees outside?
And when everything's not packed. I am a big fan of going places on the off season. I did almost accidentally get caught in a hurricane that way once in Florida, but
Yeah, you shouldn't be going to Florida in any off season.
Just never go back to Florida. Just avoid it. It doesn't exist anymore. It's not part of the team.
not part of the team.
Mm-mm. Even my parents are leaving, so.
Nice. I mean, they had the scariest pterodactyl-sized mosquitoes out there, so I didn't really feel the need to go back again.
Also, the spiders are the size of small dogs, so hard pass on that one. Mm-mm.
Yeah, Florida and Australia have some of the same unfortunate similarities. I'm cool on either.
Saying I want to visit Australia so bad, but just the fact that people talk about huntsman spiders as if they're just
They are so cool.
They're
No, they're fucking
the neighborhood cat or something. I don't want that in my life. There was a video I watched on TikTok.
That thing comes from another planet.
They are. There was a girl on TikTok that was she was from Australia and living there or whatever, and she was like, there's a huntsman in my house again, and I don't know where it is, so I'm just gonna go to bed and find it tomorrow. I was like, that's not, I'm moving. If it's in my house, I'm not in my house. I don't.
Carrie's gonna set the house on fire, trying to get rid of the spider.
Light a match.
I would too. I'm not going to sleep with that. It's time
I'm
to
out.
go.
I'm moving countries. No.
There's no way.
I have a hard enough time with the brown recluses, and they're small.
Those actually worry me more than.
But huntsmans are huge, and I'm scared of all of them.
They don't eat people.
They could if they wanted to. I don't want to test that theory that they don't eat people. Anyway. I don't know how we got here.
I don't know, but
I didn't.
How hot is it in Oklahoma?
Do what?
It's approximately the same temperature as the surface of the sun, I think.
Yes, that is accurate.
I don't know. I don't think it's broken triple digits yet out here, but it's definitely in the 90s, and I'm done.
It did up here in the city.
Did it? I don't have the other phone to look at what it was today.
On Wednesday, it was 102, I think, and the AC in my house decided to not work. And so me and my roommate spent 4 hours just sweating, and we were like, why is this not working? Is it just so hot outside that the AC can't keep up with it? No, it didn't work
Oh no.
because our
I've
electric
seen a lot of people
something
lost
happened.
theirs.
We lost half the power in our house, like only half though. Like the downstairs power didn't work, and like the living room and the garage, and that was
How
it.
does that even work?
I don't fucking know.
I'm not an
That's
electrician.
weird.
I don't know. I have questions now.
Same.
Yeah, we officially got to the mid-90s today. Today's like the first day in months we cracked 90.
Ooh, nice though. That's nice because it's been hovering in the upper 90s here for a minute. I finally put in the air conditioner, in the window last week.
I don't know how y'all do it. I can't.
Well, to be fair, because of the way I've designed my house and the way I have it vented with the solar fans in the roof, my house is about 10 degrees cooler than the outside.
I want to live in one of those hobbit houses that are like in the ground. Like, can you imagine? Like, it would just be so great because in the summer you'd be underground where it's a lot colder, like in the dirt, and then in the winter you'd be so insulated and like it would just be. We all need to live in hobbit holes. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay, fair enough.
But the same people that don't believe that like global warming is a thing would think, oh well, but we're closer to the center of the earth, and so like that's got to make it hotter.
I know.
And then religious folks think that we're closer to hell, so that's got to make it hotter.
Yeah, hell
That's
is
my
right
goal.
Of the earth.
That's my goal, to just get closer to hell.
I don't understand how people think that like hell is like in the earth. If it's your spirit goes there, I don't understand.
I don't know. I mean, you're asking for rational thought from something based on irrationality. My grandmother, when she was alive, had a fit because Dad said he wanted to be cremated, and she's like, "But you can't be raptured if you don't have a body to come up out of the grave." And I'm like, "But you realize it's like decomposition is a thing, right? Like." Your body's not just like
dinosaurs are a thing, and yeah, they don't believe evolution's a thing. Like, nah, you can't make sense of any of that stuff because you can't have a rational conversation with any of them. Because once you do, then it just devolves into crap.
It would be like, do you remember those old like it was like a Disney like Halloween like movie, but it was like a lot of like little shorts in it. There was like the dancing skeletons one. That's what the rapture would be. Just a bunch of dancing skeletons everywhere.
Bunch of dancing skeletons. I mean, I wish Jesus would come and get his people, please, because I've had enough of a lot of them.
Same. Come get your friends, Jesus. I don't want them.
No, Jesus loves us all. He loves all of us.
I don't think Jesus wants them anymore either, though, so.
He never did. That's a lie they keep telling themselves. They keep showing up on a doorstep there where they're not wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we talking about today, guys? I'm sorry.
There's so much shit we can talk about. We can talk about affirmative action. We can talk about stuff.
There's just.
I don't know if I can talk about affirmative action reasonably right now. I'm very angry. I'm very angry at the Supreme Court in general right now.
I feel like we could talk about it and we would be here for like the rest of the day. Like, so.
I just, what the fuck? Like, I'm not surprised. So this is the really worst part of it. Like, I'm not surprised by it. Like, we saw it coming, but I'm still angry because really, what are we doing? What are we doing?
That's how I feel about pretty much everything they've done, except for like upholding ICWA.
And even then, if you read that, like, there was a lot of
barely.
Right. And there was a lot of, if you look at like the majority and how many concurrences and partial concurrences and the dissents and all of that, it really is a whole lot of internal disagreement happening. So they kicked it down the road. So it's not actually safe.
No, and it won't ever be. I mean, and at the end of the day, like, even if it ends up being safe and okay, I mean, them coming up with one decent decision, but coming up with 10 shitty ones, like, they don't do golf for any of that stuff. Like, they are just the whole institution's always been a waste of flesh and all the like, oh, they're nonpartisan and non-political, like bullshit. And I'm just tired of all the politicians getting rich off of all of us.
Agreed. Say we burn it all down.
Yeah, like I did some research a couple of days ago, and I found out that like the Supreme Court, like as a unit, combined, they're worth up to like $68 million. Like, where the fuck are y'all getting that money from? I mean, I don't know. I'm sure like it's not a political appointment, so you can't fundraise money. So how are you getting all this shit done?
For real.
And I think the thing that's frustrating to me is I am glad that a lot of people are starting to see this stuff. But I'm frustrated at the number of people who are still determined to believe in the system and to insist that it's just, you know, a small faction that's like, you know, abusing it or whatever. Like, no, this is the way the system was set up. It's doing what it was supposed to do. Like it is the system that's the problem. And we can't reform our way out of that.
Yes. That's the one thing I have to constantly tell like students and other adults is like, they're like, oh, the system's broken. I'm like, the system ain't broken. Like, this shit is working exactly the way it's supposed to. Like, you think that like white folks that were racist and enslavers and sexual abusers and predators created a system that actually hold themselves accountable? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, and to be honest, like none of us probably would. So like, I don't necessarily fault them. But what I do fault is the fact that like we can know this stuff now, and we're still deciding to go along with that same fucking system, thinking that like again that we can reform it, we can change it. That if we, you know, if we just get out there and vote all the time with all of our might, that we're just going to magically make all these different, you know, rulings and laws and legislations. Like no, we're not. Sure, things can get marginally better, and like sure we can maybe fight to keep things at a standstill, which is like the only reason why I vote. But like, I don't think that we're actually going to make a fucking difference because we're not. Like, we're changing the face on the same fucking machine.
Yes, when I quit law, there was a lot of people, and I still have people even this many years later that don't understand it. You know, but when I started law school, I was, you know, I still had that indoctrination about, you know, American excellence. This is the best system. You know, it's not perfect, but it's the best one we have. You know, that all of that, and you know, had been conditioned with all this. Well, it's just corruption of the system. That's the problem. And if you do the work, you can fix it. And then as I started working in it and understanding, like, no, this is what it is. Like, it's designed this way. And it is just a weapon to abuse and oppress people. I couldn't do it. I couldn't stay in there.
Yeah.
Like, weird to me that they say it's like corrupt people and not the corrupt system. I'm like, but the people made the system and keep the system. Wouldn't it all just like everything is wrong with it? Like, I don't.
Yeah, throw all that shit away. Throw away the Declaration of Independence. Throw away the Constitution. Throw away all like 27 amendments. Like, they can all just go to hell, and let's just start all over again with like a coalition of actual people from different walks of life that can get into a room for fucking 8 weeks in Philadelphia with no fucking air conditioning and figure the shit the fuck out. But that'll never happen. We're gonna keep trying out the same stupid shit. But like everything else, for the most part, everything else in society gets to advance and evolve in some sort of way, but not the Constitution. Not schools, not prisons, but like everything else can go ahead and get better. You can get better TVs and high definition shit. We can get better cars. We can get better shoes. We can get better air conditioning units. But like, we just can't get a better government. We're just gonna keep relying on the same shit from 250 years ago because like they saw the future and knew that like we'd actually have cars one day. Get the fuck out of here. Like, one of the things I tell my students all the time is that like if George Washington could like wake up and walk into our classroom today, like he would literally have a fucking fit. To actually see like a black dude leading a class full of white kids, he would fucking go nuts. So like that should be enough to go ahead and throw the shit away and start all over. We take out his slave fake teeth and throw that.
Yeah, I have to be very careful what I say because I don't want the FBI at my doors tomorrow.
You're in Oklahoma, yeah, and you're off the grid, yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, like I am on several watch
you
lists.
got a law degree, and you're
Yeah,
indigenous. Get the fuck out of here! Like
I know. I'm trying. I'm trying to delay that confrontation as long as possible, but I am aware I am on some watch lists. But yeah, I consider the United States government a what's the word? I'm sorry, my brain is not working well today. But it's not that. It's an illegitimate occupying force. So
I vote we burn down our government system, put it over there, and go back to, like when the nations were like doing things. Like, it may not have been like perfect for like the whole like country, but at least you guys were like considering like your people and working in best interest for everybody. Like,
well, one thing that I think is important to note is, the Constitution, they like to now will at least acknowledge the borrowing from the Haudenosaunee, but what they conveniently leave out is that those original principles actually included, a lot of equality, and like there was I can't remember what it's called, but the Council of Women that things also had to go through. They deliberately stripped all of that out. So I get really frustrated when people talk about, well, they were a product of their time. People, no, like there were humans that knew it was wrong to treat other people like property. It is not it's not like we are suddenly more evolved than they were just a few hundred years ago. No, those were choices. And we are still choosing to pretend like what they produced is somehow a good thing. I don't know. It's maddening.
It's a fucking cop out. I hate the whole product of their time. Everybody was doing it. Everybody had slaves. Like, it's two totally different things. And again, like, people that want to go ahead and use shit like that. Same thing like affirmative action. Like, people still think that, like, oh yeah, like affirmative action means that, like, less qualified people get jobs. It's like, no, motherfucker. Like, everybody still helps the same standard. It's just the fact that they are now forced to look at people besides white folks. Like, but yet and still, it doesn't matter that it's 2023 and there's tons of articles and statistics and data out there that like shows and proves all this stuff. But like, they still go ahead with that same bullshit talking point. And like, and I can't stand it. It's even more disgusting that like they literally got some Asian dude out there to go ahead and really take this case to the Supreme Court and let that motherfucker win, because he really thinks that like at Ivy League universities where black folks make up 3% of the population, if we're fucking lucky, that like one of his spots was taken by like one of those 3%, not the legacy admittance, not the donors, not the kids of faculty, none of that makes up like half the population, but it's like one of the little piddling 3% that took your spot. Get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's Canadian. So like this change doesn't. Yes, he's not a U.S. citizen. He's Canadian. So this change doesn't even actually really affect him.
Get the fuck out of here! I had no fucking idea.
Yeah, he's Canadian, but he's Canadian citizen, but he had went to high school in New York. And he wanted to go to Harvard because he thought that would set him up. He wanted to go into politics. He wanted to, I believe, return to Canada and go into politics.
Because
and
he wants to stay here. Like,
I don't. That my understanding is no. His plan was apparently an Ivy League education goes a long way to set you up in politics in Canada. So this doesn't even like legit really affect him.
So he threw a temper tantrum.
Like, you don't want to just go like the University of Quebec or Montreal or New Brunswick or some shit like that. Like, you ain't got to go to fucking Harvard to do what you need to, and get the fuck out. You didn't make it. Oh well, you didn't get accepted. Too fucking bad. Like, welcome to America. That shit happens more often than not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus shit, man.
Humans are the worst, man. Like, just as a whole, just like
yes,
there's some good ones, but as a whole, we're garbage. I don't like it.
this is where I have some cognitive dissonance, okay? Because I'm like, yes, we need to do better. We're like destroying, making this planet inhabitable for us. Mass extinction event is happening, and that's maybe we should do better. But then I'm like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't do better because we don't deserve it.
Yeah, like it's hard to like be hopeful and like want that when like the majority of like the things you hear about are just like terrible, awful people just doing terrible, awful people things. Like,
Yeah, humans are something else.
Yep, we're in fucking trouble.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
And then student debt. How about that part? We can't even get our shit paid off. It's great.
I will never have mine paid off. I've accepted that as a reality.
I've decided
but-
not to pay mine. I think I literally have like $22,000 left, which like the 20,000 would have done great. I could have just had 2,000 left and I would have paid that, but I'm not doing that shit anymore. Fuck it. If it destroys my credit, fuck them. I don't give a shit. They can kiss my ass. They're not getting another dime out of me.
yeah.
Well, I have about 10 times that amount. And so it will never be paid off. My debt to income ratio will always be so upside down that I will never qualify for a mortgage or anything else. So I don't care about my credit, not going to lie. Unfortunately, though, at some point, as more of my kids move out because they're growing up and what have you, I will eventually have to start making a student loan payment because otherwise they will garnish it out of my wages. Which sucks, but I have no intention of ever paying it off. They can take that little mandatory monthly payment that doesn't even cover interest, and that's all they're getting, and until I die.
The whole shit's a fucking scam. And again, like that's another bullshit argument. Like I hate people. They're like, oh, you just took out a loan so that we get it paid off. And it's like, no, like we took out loans because we didn't have a fucking choice. Because I'm sorry, but like this country doesn't allow for people to actually go ahead and afford fucking college because y'all let schools go ahead and up tuition and up books and up the cost of living and up room and board every single fucking year to the point where it's unsustainable. And like, what the fuck did you expect us to do? To not like play the game that y'all told us to play, which is go get an education and go get a great job. But then we go get an education, and then the jobs that are out there when we graduate are bullshit paying bullshit money. Like I've seen jobs out there. They're like, oh, you need a master's or a PhD, and you get to make like $36,000 a year. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I was looking at a bunch of jobs like in social work because that's what my degree is in, and they're all like, you need like a master's, and they're making less than what I make now at the job that I have.
Yeah.
I was like, why would I go
Exactly
do that when I can stay here and make more and not get more student debt? Like, it just like blows my mind. And they have like no benefits package like what I get now. So like it's literally not worth it to me, like to go do that.
Yeah.
Well, the unspoken, the part they don't want to say out loud is, yeah, that's exactly what they wanted, was for us to not get educated and for us to stay poor and serve their serve their interests. And honestly, I would like them to just own that.
Yeah.
If that's what you believe, then say it with your chest.
Like, just be honest about it and tell us that you hate us as a people and just go about your day.
Yeah. And to me, like, that's my biggest thing also. Like, you don't even have to apologize for it. But if that's what you believe, then fucking say that shit out loud. Say it with your chest. And after that, then whatever happens, whatever happens. But, like, I'm not asking you to apologize for shit. I'm just asking you to fucking own it. But, like, I get tired of them constantly moving the fucking goalposts because back then it was, hey, get an education because they knew most of us couldn't. And then once we actually started getting admitted into colleges, it was, oh, okay, well, and now you don't just need a high school degree like a diploma. Now you need a BA. And now you don't just need a BA. Now you need a master's. Now you don't need just a master's. You need a certification or a PhD or a JD or whatever else. And like, they just keep constantly making this shit harder and harder. Like, instead of y'all just saying, look, like, we just don't want you here. We don't want you doing a goddamn thing. And whatever happens, whatever happens. You get knocked out, you get knocked the fuck out. But like, just say it. Just fucking say it.
Yeah. I don't want to be an adult. My mom didn't tell me it would be like this.
Yeah.
My other mom, Summer, didn't tell me it'd be like this either.
That's a damn lie. I did tell you.
You didn't tell me at first. It took you a while.
I tell you what, this is the biggest ripoff. 43 years ago, two people had sex, and I have to pay the price for this. I didn't consent to any of this.
I told my mom that the other day, and she said, "Well, I'm sorry, but you're here, so
So deal with it."
doesn't make it better, Mom." Is student loans one of the I know is student loans one of those things where if you die, it goes to your kids, or is it just gone, just wiped away?
I think there are some private loans related to education that will continue. None of mine will, because I checked. That's why I have made the plans that I have, where I bought the property with the student loan living money.
Loud on recorded TV. What's wrong with you?
Well, technically, it's not. It does fall within the confines because it was taken out for living expenses, and I did pay it for housing. But what it means is that there is not a lien on it, so it won't carry forward when I die like a regular mortgage would. The debt will die with me.
Yeah. Mine. If I die and I still have debt, it'll just go away. It's all government stuff. I didn't take out any private loans. My parents at least told me a little bit about that part for me not to do that. But yeah, it's still.
My mom took out all private loans with Sallie Mae, the worst company in the world. So I learned from her and was I'm just gonna do federal loans, and that's all that I have. I have 26 grand, and I paid on it for 3 years, and then COVID happened, and it was still 26 grand. So never went down even in 3 years at all. I think it went up actually. So that's fun.
Honestly, we all should just taken out PPP loans and paid off our debt with that shit, or taking out PPP loans and just bought all the shit we wanted to, because they're not going after people for any of that shit, and that shit got waived or whatever else. So we all should just fucking LLC bullshit businesses, doctored up a bunch of fucking documents, and got through.
Well, I have an LLC, and they were sending me all of this information to take out these loans, and I didn't take them because I'm I don't want to have to deal with paying them back. Had I known, I would have taken them and paid off. I'd have paid off everybody's bills.
Since they would just print out fucking money and give it to people, y'all could print out that money and went ahead and paid that towards our student debt. And we paused payments for 3.5 years. Ain't shit happened. The world hasn't collapsed. None of these businesses that reportedly invest in shit like this have gone bankrupt. So get the fuck out of here. Postpone this shit indefinitely.
Yeah, I agree.
And they know that canceling student debt would actually be good for the economy, but they would rather just watch us fucking suffer because they know that they can. They know, hey, with more money in our pockets, we're more likely to spend that money than save it, especially since we're not in the middle of a pandemic anymore, according to most people. But they're still nah, we're just gonna go ahead and force you to fucking pay because we can. And they've got dumbass white people out there that are neck deep in their own fucking death. They're just hey, yeah, sure, yeah, we'll just go ahead and pay it because that's what we're supposed to do, because y'all are fucking idiots.
I'm gonna put off paying it for as long as I can and just not do it because I don't want you.
Yeah, life shouldn't have to be this fucking painful.
Agreed. None of us asked to be here, so why do we have to make it hard for everybody?
Because capitalism.
Basically, yeah.
Take it back.
Yeah, I don't want to take this shit back.
I didn't agree to this.
And if y'all didn't want us to go to college, then make sure we didn't go to college, but give us decent paying fucking jobs with a pension and a union. And guess what? I wouldn't have gone to college. I would have done some other shit. That's fine.
What gets me is that my grandpa was an electrician. He went through, he didn't even do trade school. He just did an apprenticeship. And he did that for 35 years and made about the same money that I make now. Just doing an apprenticeship. I don't.
Yeah.
Why didn't he tell me to do that?
$15,000 and you buy a car for $2,000 and you had a great pension after 10 years on a job, and yeah, we're just totally fucked.
Yeah, that doesn't work that way anymore.
Yeah. I kind of wish I'd gone to a trade school first and had that kind of skill. before going to like college or something, and like being able to do that, like, well, just something.
Yep.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And to be sure you never miss an upload, make sure you turn your notifications on. And please come join us on social media so we can continue these conversations in between episodes. You'll find us at Hypoxia Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.